You're watching Slow Boat Fishing. I'm Mark. Today we're in the Slow Boat Garage before we get out on Santee Cooper, South Carolina. We're going to be fishing with Queen City kayak bass fishing. Didn't do very well, had some bites, but I thought what I'd do is just kind of go over the rig that I use primarily, which is the Wacky rig, show you my setup. Although it didn't work there great this time, it normally does. I think you could probably use a Wacky rig most of the time on Santee Cooper with all the cypress trees, laydowns, you name it. I happened to find some docks also that it was good under, and I had fished docks there before. Although that's not why you go there to fish the swamp and cypress trees. So let me show you what I use, my setup, and I'm no expert and no professional. There are plenty of other tutorials on how to use a Wacky rig. This is just what I do. Okay, so for my setup, I had somebody ask me, what kind of setup do I use? So I'm using the Shimano Zodius. All right, for my rod, I use a medium action. It's 6'9" medium action. They only make one, so it's just a Shimano Zodius. I prefer the shorter rod, skipping under docks a lot, of course in a kayak, so I like the little shorter rod. Also, I like the tip on it. Has a little bit of give, but it has enough backbone that I can keep those fish pinned even though they're around dock pilings. For the reel, I have the Shimano Vanford 2500. It's the high gear. And then I put on there, this is Seaguar Smackdown 15-pound braid, high vis. And then for my leader, I run about a 12-foot leader of Seaguar and VizX, and I'll use either 6-pound in a clear lake situation, if Lake Norman's really clear, which it mainly is, 8-pound if I'm getting broken off or if I can get away with it. So 8-pound is probably, I would say, the most common that I use. And then when I'm down in Santee around cypress trees and bigger fish, I bumped it up to 10-pound, but no more than 10-pound for me. For the hook, I use 2 different hooks depending where I'm at and what I'm doing. So if I'm just fun fishing, then I'll use I'll use this right here. This is just a VMC Nico hook, size either 1 or 1/0. I think that's a size 1. So those are the 2 hooks I use. I don't even know which one I'm grabbing most of the time. It's either 1 or 1/0. I don't really pay too much attention. I don't think it matters that much. If I'm fishing in a tournament and I don't want to lose any fish and I want to try and win some money, then I go to the Gamakatsu G Finesse, and it's got the wire guards on there. And again, that looks like a 1/0, but it's a Nico hook. That's a great hook. I don't lose too many fish when I get them hooked on this. You really don't even have to hook set them. You just, start reeling and lean into them. And I rarely do a hook set with these hooks at all. So that's what I use. That's my setup. What colors do you need? You're probably going to ask me that. If you're fishing Santee Cooper, you're probably and you're in the cleaner water, your old watermelon. A little darker water, green pumpkin. Darker water, black and blue. Pretty standard, no tricks here. But if you're new to the lake, you know, those are the three colors that I would bring, depending on your water clarity. You know, these are all the standard Cincos. The green pumpkin is a bizbait. You know, the bizbait has a garlic scent on there, slightly different fall than the Yamamoto. So just preference when it comes down to it. I mean, I think a lot of guys even use Yum Dinger and whatever they get their hands on. So that's it. Let's get on the water and do a little fishing. Okay, so I found a couple of docks on the way to some cypress trees. So I decided to see if there was anything there. I'm just skipping it under the dock, trying to find the deepest, darkest shade I can. And then I'm going to let it sit there, hit bottom, which is only probably about 3 feet here. And maybe give it a couple shakes. Using the high vis line, I can always see it moving. I reel down to the fish and then pull into them. That's typically my hook set, as you'll see here. John! 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 You'll see me repeat the same thing here on a few docks that we found in this little creek arm. Uh-oh. Well, this is during practice, so I was trying to hook everything just to kind of get an idea if there was any kind of quality fish here. Unfortunately, they were all 12, 13 inchers. I did see some bigger fish swimming around, but it was such a little pocketed area that we decided not to even fish this during the tournament. A bunch of small fish, not going to really help you on Santee Cooper. You need to catch some giants. Yeah, this could be good in the morning back here. There's a lot of life back here. Got another one. That's my specialty. Okay, on to tournament day. Like I said in the beginning of the video, did not have a lot of action on tournament day. Caught more in practice as usual. And so I just thought I'd go right to the fish catches. I'm using the Wacky worm here. Found some little cypress trees, decided to throw it up in there. It's probably a foot of water that I'm fishing in. I think I'm using watermelon as my Wacky. $13.5 first fish. I finally caught a fish, so I decided to go fish these docks nearby. Skip it up under there, deepest, darkest shade. Got a little nibble. Got a good hook set, so I don't know. I was trying to get him out of there. There's a lot of pylons, and there was a little area that I skipped it in. Ended up losing him. So John and I changed ramps, and we just took off from the boat ramp, and then disaster strikes. We had 2.5 hours left of our tournament, and then you'll see what's about that. Both of my seat buckles broke right here, and that was about it for my tournament. I could barely pedal without the seat being propped up. You hear the storm coming. Hard rain is minutes away. But instead of putting on my rain gear, I decided I got to do another cast. Like I said, I can hear the rain coming. Still messing around with my seat. I thought I had a little more time. My rain gear, I always keep it in the nose of the boat, so that's a good thing. I'm always prepared. But I didn't think it was going to come down this fast. that's a wrap for the day for me. There's still an hour left of the tournament, but you can see how miserable it is. My seat is totally jacked up. I have to hold on to the bottom of the seat just to pedal. Very difficult with the conditions. Absolutely a miserable way to end the tournament. And I only caught one keeper fish. So that's Santee Cooper for you, and that's tournament fishing. So on to the next one. Hopefully I do a little bit better. Thanks for checking it out.